We're here today to talk to Suzanne Sherratt, and this is all about Sue and how she got into making these beautiful handcrafted products of hers that are flying out of the doors of the shop and off of the website. So, right, welcome to Sue. Hello, Sue.
Hello, Martin.
I should call you Suzanne, but do you prefer Sue?
I prefer to be called Sue, yes.
Wonderful. So, we're here today and we want to hear about you and your story. I think some people may know that in a previous life, or you are a concert harpist,
yes.
with a superb name with harps, but something has brought you into a new era of your life.
Yes.
What brought that about, please?
I've been a musician for all my working life, and I just felt that the time was coming when I needed to look at other options. As much as I love playing the harp, there are a lot of youngsters around who are very, very good, our daughter being one of them. And I just felt that as you get older, it's a very physical instrument, and I wanted to just slow things down a little bit.
You're surely not saying you're too old.
Not yet, but maybe
a bit of a put another string to the bow.
Absolutely, I'm thinking for the future. So I've always enjoyed sewing. My grandmother was a professional seamstress. My mother was amazing at embroidery. So I've been sewing all my life, and it just seemed a very natural progression to start developing a little bit more needlework. And it started just simply by going through some drawers and finding a beautiful embroidered tablecloth, which was about 100 years old, full of holes, but the embroidery was stunning. And I thought, I can't throw this out, it's too beautiful, and it'll just end up going into a landfill. And I love upcycling things. So I started off by making that into bunting, and then that developed into boards, and I started looking around for fabrics that appealed to me, the type of things that suit my life. I've always lived in the country, and I love country animals, hares, chickens, bumblebees.
Hence the cushion underneath your elbow that's got sheep on it.
Sheep there, and there's a fox down there, and a few rabbit ears.
Wonderful.
No, hare's ears actually.
Wonderful.
So I started sourcing fabrics that appealed to me, and I remember going to the very first county show, and I had no idea whether what I did other people would like it. So it was a bit of an experiment, and I came out winning the best craft stall award, and I thought, okay,
very good.
Maybe people like what I do.
But couldn't you buy these products anywhere?
Yeah, you can get them. I mean, lots of people make them, but what I found was that when I bought them, sometimes I paid a lot of money and they just fell apart. So I wanted to have something which was good quality but at an affordable price. That's very, very important, because I know what I want, so I'm making what I want, and I hope that that's what the general public want.
So with oven gloves, you don't want burnt fingers?
No. Yeah, you don't want burnt fingers or burnt tops of hands. So I try to design things like the oven gloves so that they are generous, so that you don't go and burn yourself, because that's the whole point of using oven gloves.
So how did the range develop? You started off with what, with oven gloves and oven mitts?
Yeah, oven gloves. I just kept developing ideas, seeing what's out there in the marketplace, and I would look at things and think, well, I can do that too. And I enjoy developing my own style, and I never use other people's patterns. I like to do it myself, and sometimes I get it wrong. In fact, very often I get it wrong. So it's been very much a case of trial and error of what works, and I think I draw my own templates,
Right.
and I might tweak it here and there, and hopefully get a design that works for not just me but for everybody else.
Going back to the oven gloves and the oven bits just a moment. I mean, for me, and I say this tongue in cheek, as a man, I don't often get near such things as needing oven gloves, but I can imagine that there must be some special fabrics that you have to build into this,
Yeah.
that are, I mean, I think of engineering terms of asbestos gloves for welders.
Yeah.
So you're obviously producing something that's got a thermal barrier, but certainly isn't asbestos gloves.
There is a fabric that I get, which is actually, that's what pushes the price up.
Right.
Because it's quite expensive, but it's a thermal layer,
Right.
which basically deflects the heat, so it prevents the heat from coming through. So I use that with things like the oven gloves, Arga, Rayburn covers, or chef's pads, anything where you're going to be having direct contact with heat.
Right.
But I just today actually started doing a new range of place settings. Now that has a different type of insulation inside,
Right.
which is not as thick, but it will, because basically all you're going to be doing is putting warm plates onto that. So it's still got thermal insulation, but it's not as effective as, say, the oven gloves for direct heat.
I detect the cook in you coming out there to say warm plates. The times I've sat down to cold plates.
Oh, yes.
So, yes, clearly you understand this.
Yeah, I completely understand that, yeah.
And did I see that you've got a range for children, for the little helpers?
Yeah, for the little helpers. I'm just starting to develop that. So I've now got children's aprons, and I make much smaller oven gloves. Now, obviously, you're not expecting your little child to go and bring a roasting tin out of the oven, but I make them in exactly the same way as the adult oven glove, because little hands are very vulnerable.
Of course.
And there's, if you've got a child who's wanting to help mum bringing some cakes out or some little, you don't want them to get burnt.
No,
and so
important.
you want to make sure that they have as much protection as mum.
Okay. I think we've reached a point where we should actually see some of these products, don't you?
Yeah, yes,
You've got
certainly.
some available?
Yes, I have.
So let's take a break a moment and let the sponsors do their thing, as they say.
Right.
And we'll get set up near
Okay.
for over there.